Hello, welcome to my live stream. Today is Wednesday, the 25th of February, and it's 6 o'clock p.m. UK time. I'm going to be here for a couple of hours. For those who are new, I'm a therapist and coach, and I come here on YouTube twice a week, every Wednesdays and Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time to take questions and talk about anything to do with mental health, therapy, psychology, human behavior, and how we can improve any aspect of our life from those places. I think the way I'm going to present what I do is really about learning more about self-awareness. So self-awareness is understanding our emotions, understanding why we think the things we think, why and how we interact and react to one another all the time. And so, yep. If you have any question, anything you'd like to talk about, I do my best to give you some actionable suggestions. Pumpkin Puff. Oh, hello, Pumpkin Puff. Hi, Didi. How are you feeling today? I'm feeling amazing. Thank you so much. How about you? Are you enjoying the weather? I'm not sure where you are, but in the UK, in London, today was 17 degrees. It's like springtime. And so I had a fantastic day. I've been very productive. I woke up at 4 o'clock and I've been working, doing my writing, doing my editing, doing my learning, my research. And then I had a few calls. And then I went to the park and I spent a couple of hours in the sun, surrounded by a lot of happy Londoners. And then I went to the gym, lifted a lot of weight. Very full-on happy day. And I'm here with you guys. And so if there's anything you'd like to talk about, don't hesitate. Okay. I'm going to get started by reading my own post. Okay, unless there's a comment already. Pumpkin Puff, it's warm here as well. I haven't gotten the chance to enjoy it yet, but sounds like you had a lovely day. Yeah, well, for me, it feels like it's already springtime, and I'm not the only one who's feeling like that. Now we know that it feels like spring, and then at 6 o'clock it's freezing and everyone catches cold. but it still does feel like spring for a few hours in the day, and that's good enough. This is what happens when we live in the UK. So I don't know where you are, but in the UK, I love the fact that people celebrate weather the way they do. There's a little sliver of sunshine, and that's it. Everyone flip-flop, shorts, t-shirt, and 6 o'clock outside in the pub, everyone is freezing, but they're going to stay like that because they have to conjure up more warmth quicker. So yes, there's more appreciation of weather than other places in the world where sun is abundant. I come from France, a little bit toward the south, and there we have much more light, much more warmth, but no one cares about the sun because it's always there anyway. So we don't appreciate the value of it. Whereas here, the weather is not so great most of the time, but whenever it's nice, celebration, it's a party, and that's nice. That can be a very good way to address everything. It's not about the things that we have, it's about how we appreciate when the good things happen. It's really about that simple practice of gratitude and appreciating the contrast. If we can do this, then we can find happiness wherever we are, whatever we do, whatever is happening to us. Student said hi. Hello, student. So I'm going to start my life by reading and commenting on some of my own posts, and hopefully at some point some of you will ask me some stuff, interact with me, and we can have some conversation, some action going on between us. Okay, first one goes like this. Limiting belief often passed down as wisdom. Think about proverbs such as curiosity killed the cat, money can't buy happiness, or you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Pay attention to what you say and think, because we self-hypnotize every day, habitually, into negativity and disempowerment, without even realizing it. So there's a lot of common expressions, but actually terribly disempowering. And we don't realize this, and we just say those things all the time, and we're actually hearing what we're saying and hypnotizing ourselves into disempowerment, just because we don't realize this. So something to pay attention to. Next post. If you choose to become a monster in order to defeat a monster, the monster has won. So this is to say that we tend to react the way we know, but really to address, the best way to address people who are horrible to us is to really shift the whole energy that we have, because otherwise we become them. I hope it makes sense. I know that it's a delicate subject. Some of you may react to that. If you find it triggering, do tell me and we can have a discussion. Next post. Because you're having the thought that you are a failure doesn't mean that you are a failure. It only means that you're having that thought. Thoughts are not facts. They're just thoughts. And so you don't have to believe all of them. And so this is basically, again, basics of psychology, healing, and self-development, is to understand that what we think is not an order, it's not a command, it's not a fact, it's not an emergency. Thoughts are just thoughts. But if you can really put this into practice, then we can choose better thoughts. We can allow for the thoughts that are disempowering to just go, and we can choose the better thoughts that will subsequently trigger better feelings and emotions in our body. Because whatever we think becomes emotions and feelings. And so, yeah. Next post. Oh, so let me read this. Pumpkin Puff. I've been okay. I'm dealing with being okay with my bad feelings and focusing on being mindful and staying calm. Okay. I wrote down some notes, but I will need a bit to find them. So feel free to read your post. Okay, thank you. So again, guys, I'm reading my post until some of you interact with me, and when it starts, are go in your direction, whichever, whatever you want me to talk about. That's what I'm here for. Okay, next post. Something very interesting about trauma and healing. Your past doesn't create your present. It is your present that creates your past. The past is gone. We can never go back to a place called the past. But the only way for us to experience the past again is by thinking about it from the present moment. So the good news about it is that what it means is that we can heal any trauma from the past in the present moment. So a different way to think about those things. Next post. For some of us, grieving people and pets can be the hardest thing to do because they were our best nervous system regulator. And now that they're gone, many of us don't have anything left to help us deal with life, with the world. And so I had dogs myself until March last year. And for 17 years, I'm realizing now that they're gone, how much a difference they made into how I feel every day. Knowing that they're dogs, seeing them, touching them, smelling them, hearing them snoring and farting, all of those things are things that make us feel better. And so, yeah, those of you with pets may relate to that. I'm just going to read a couple more, and hopefully some of you will start to interact with me. Here's one, a short one. Intelligence helps you win an argument. Wisdom helps you avoid them. So again, it's all good to be clever and smart, but if we can be wise, it's actually better, because we don't have to get involved with all the battles. We don't have to always be right to prove anything to anyone. Wisdom allows us to prioritize our peace as opposed to massaging our ego. And finally, the last post that I'm going to read for now goes like this. If you want to become fearless, learn to be comfortable with uncertainty, because the stress related to fear comes from uncertainty, not danger. So something very important to realize for those of us who struggle with fear or anxiety, is to realize that we have an apprehension of something, but in reality, what we have a problem with is the unknown. It's uncertainty. And so if we can develop a better relationship with the unknown, with uncertainty, now there's nothing to fear. If we can change the relationship that we have in uncertainty and make it exciting instead of being wary of it, now everything changes. Okay, I've got a couple of comments. Let's go. Pumpkin Puff. I had a slight hiccup yesterday and started to split, but gave myself a moment to calm down. However, I felt that I just gave up trying to explain my persecutive versus pushing an argument for understanding. Let me try to understand the last bit. I felt that I just gave up trying to explain my persecutive. What is persecutive? Perspective, I think what you mean, right? So let me read it again with the right word. I felt that I just gave up trying to explain my perspective versus pushing an argument for understanding. But how do you feel about it? The main thing is how you feel about it, because maybe, I was talking about wisdom just now, maybe there's a part of you that is like, I don't need to defend, to explain, to justify. Maybe you are finally in a better place where you can accept, you know what, they know me, I know me, let this pass. If that's the case, it's a good thing, right? Oops. Sorry, the device went on. So, did you feel bad about it, or are you happy with that? Pumpkin Puff. Forest Burger. Good evening, Didi. The saying, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. Very similar quote. I'm not sure what you're referring to. I lost the plot in regards to what I said before. But okay, the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. I don't understand, but okay. I'm sure you're referring to something that I've... Okay, well, let's move on. Do clarify yourself if you think that it's important for you. If not, Shukin, hi, thank you for the boundaries bit. Thank you. I'm glad you appreciate. So for those who don't know, I put a new video today, and I did it at the request of Chuchin. So I don't know if it's how you would pronounce your name, Chushin. Chushin asked me about boundaries on one of my posts, so I decided to create a long form video for them. And so today, the video that I put out, my long form video of the week, is about how to set boundaries, especially with narcissists. So basically I explain the concept of boundaries and how we can use them when it comes to problematic people like narcissists. So the title is How to Set Boundaries That Work with Narcissists. It's not just with narcissists, there are two parts to that. I explain basically how to set boundaries, but also I explain that with narcissists, the only boundary that we can set is cutting off. No contact is a boundary. And so, if you have interest in that, check it out. It's a 10 minutes video, and it's just out on my channel. So I'm glad that you appreciate it, Chuchin. And anyone else, if you have any request, just ask me. And I always think about tons of things to say, to talk about, and I put a long video every week. But if you have something that you want to know, just ask me. I'm happy to create content for all of you guys, if it can help you. Pumpkin Puff. I broke down, cried, I felt so numb after though. Like no matter what I say, I'm not being understood, and I don't know how to adjust that perspective. So I need you to remember that you are many parts. When you are breaking down in tears, when you are feeling that you are giving up, it is the part of you that is disempowered, that is hijacking that moment. And then the next moment, there's a different part of you that comes out. Well, that's it. When you say, you're looking at the wrong place. But again, it's normal. We're working on that. It takes time to get our head around those things. But when you say, no matter what I say, I'm not being understood, and I don't know how to adjust that perspective. You don't need to adjust that perspective. This is the version of you that is disempowered, right? Now, after that, it can become the other version of you, one of the version of you that is more positive, optimistic, and that is going to remind yourself, I lost it, it happens, because in that moment, my mind believed that that version of me was the best suited to deal with that situation because I'm still working on my BPD. However, now I can be kind and compassionate to myself and remind myself that it happens, it's part of the process, and it's okay. There's nothing to change. You're working on yourself and it's happening. Okay? And we talk about it many times anyway, you know what to do. Just keep doing it. But at this point in time, just based on what you say, remind yourself that whenever this happens, it's a different part of you that is controlling that moment. It's not you. There's not one you. You don't have one mind. Again, we have many minds. So it's one of your mind that took over and that felt like that. And you need to have compassion for that version of you. That version of you that is all over the place, that is over the top and splitting, is still a part of you. And it's a part of you that is scared, that is freaking out, that needs some love and attention and compassion. And so just tell yourself, it's okay, it happens, it's not a problem. I accept myself. Learn how to accept yourself. And as you do that, others will actually learn how to accept yourself as you are doing it to yourself. By learning from you. And also, as you're accepting yourself, you will start to have less and less of those experiences as well. The more we repress something, the more we try to correct and fix and change something, the more we are holding onto that thing. The moment we allow it to happen and then we just let it go, over time, it will become easier and easier. On the top of whatever you're doing with your BPD, right? Student, how to speak anxious, thank you for the heart, for how to speak anxious, lose composure, triggers are authoritative figures like boss, important customers, parents or friends, and strict anchors in the new groups, especially when the place is very quiet. Okay, so I don't have the first part of your comment, but I'm going to guess what you're talking about. You suffer from an inability to... Did we have that conversation on a different live stream and you came back with that? Or was it someone else? I assume that you are finding it difficult to keep composure and communicate with people because you're under pressure, right? So do you believe that you suffer from anxiety or unhealed trauma? Because it could be anything. And if you have some serious baggage, this is only the symptom of your problem. Right? So we want to talk about the root cause of your problems, not just the superficial symptoms. Pumpkin Puff, autocorrect is not my friend. Haha, I'm sorry. It's all right. I get it. It's like a game, and to decipher what people mean sometimes. Students, how to explain to rude people that think you're boring with no life, as you like having days off where you don't do anything fun. You don't need to explain. Just tell them, this is my life, not your business. I like this, that's all that matters. What you think of me is not a problem. It's your problem. If you have a problem with that, it's not mine. We're all different. And this is the thing. A lot of us were under pressure to do certain things, to live certain lifestyle, because it's trendy. Everyone's talking about, you should do this, you should go bungee jumping, you should go in adventures. Some people are going to criticize couples who are at home watching television instead of doing something productive, creative, or exciting. And they don't realize that we're all different. And whatever rocks our boat is no one else's business. So for us, for instance, with me and my husband, we are both neurodivergent. And we, the things that we enjoy the most is just chilling together, not doing much, right? When television is on, he's on his tablet, I'm on mine. And before we had dogs, we don't have at the moment. But for just that, for us, it's heaven, it's perfect. It's something that we call parallel play. For people who are on the spectrum, parallel play is the idea of being with someone in the same room, not necessarily doing things together, but feeling safe because we can be together without having to explain anything. We don't have to justify anything. We don't have to fill up the silence with any chat. We're comfortable just having each other's back, knowing that we have each other's back, and that is more than enough. And that is the best thing for us as far as we're concerned. We understand each other. Sometimes we talk, sometimes we don't. It doesn't matter. And so if you enjoy being on your own, doing your stuff, it's on you. If people don't like it, tell them, you know what, go on your adventures. But I'm happy with myself, with my lot. right? You said it yourself, how to explain to rude people. They're being rude. They're projecting their own fears, their own insecurities, but it's their baggage. It's got nothing to do with you. Focus on what makes you feel better and hang out with the right people. People are criticizing you. Spend less time with them. Atul Katal said hi. Hello, Pumpkin Puff. I feel like I'm dissociating though, like I'm mentally locking myself in a room so that I don't need to react to the pain. If I react, I am now the problem. So this is your work. You need to learn how to feel. You need to learn how to have a good relationship with your emotions, with your feelings, with your body. That's part of your work. Yeah. It's for you to find a way to do it in a way that is comfortable. Pumpkin Puff. I had a really good thought to add to this, but I forgot to write it down. Maybe it will come to me eventually. Yeah, it will, I'm sure. Pumpkin Puff. Am I doing better by not choosing my nature to argue when I feel hurt, or am I just repressing my emotions? It depends how you feel at that moment. And also, it's a whole process. My answer to you is that no matter what you say, no matter what you go through, you are doing better because you're working on yourself. And we are going to go like that. The path to healing is going to be up and down. And so it's part of the process. Whatever that you're doing is enough. Remember, be kind to yourself, be compassionate to yourself. So the first thing that you want to do is to realize that you are doing fine. You are doing your best, and your best is always good enough. As long as you keep going, you cannot lose. Healing is not a destination, it's a journey. And so as long as you are on that journey, as long as you are on that drive, boat, car, whatever, you are all right? Because even the healing is different to all of us. And because our life is a story, what matters is the direction we're going. So you're doing fine. Learn how to appreciate your progress, and learn how to appreciate that you've come a long way, and that you will keep going in that direction no matter what happens, because you deserve it, because you want it, because you now know that you can do this. Durban's parallel read I love to. Okay. Hello from the spectrum. Hello, spectrum friend. Pumpkin Puff, absolutely love parallel play. It's so great. Yes. Yes. People are always so focused on impressing others. It's got to be spectacular. It's got to be special. We have to be successful. We have to really show off. And we don't realize that, again, happiness, goodness can be found in the littlest things. And this is what I really preach. It's not just this or that. We can have the big things as well. But if we can learn to appreciate the littlest things, now we have so much good stuff to enjoy and appreciate each moment. And when the big things come, now we can really appreciate them because we know the value of those things. Yeah. There's a guy who wrote a book, I forgot his name. He was a guest on Oprah Winfrey's show. And the guy is an American Vietnamese, and he talks about this, how people tend to glorify impressive lifestyle success. But a lot of people have very beautiful, amazing life, even though they're very humble. So they could be having a nail salon, they could be working in a factory, they could be doing something very simple, but still find immense joy in their life. And this is what we want to be reminded. We tend to be creating a lot of unhappiness for ourselves because we are comparing, we're looking in the wrong place. And even when we're looking at the people who seem to be doing better than us, it's only the facade. We don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Again, as a therapist, I can tell you that we all suffer. We all have problems. We all have stuff to deal, regardless of how we look like from the outside. Many of my clients, you wouldn't know or guess or imagine that they have any problems because they look like they have everything: success, fame, money, fortune, happiness. I mean, health, not happiness. Health, people who love them, and yet there are some stuff to deal with. Forest Bird Girl, message retracted. Helena O'Neill said hi. Hello, Helena. Dora Burns. Today I was reminded. Where am I? Keeps on moving. Today I was reminded again in my therapy, an emotion lasts 90 seconds. Yes, if we don't think about it. Emotions are, if we look at ourselves from a biological perspective, emotions are no more or less than the experience of some chemicals in our body. So hormones in our body and neurotransmitters in our brain. And so with that in mind, whatever is happening in our body, if we don't think about it, if we don't hold on to those reactions by thinking about it, it doesn't last more than 90 seconds. From the moment it starts, whichever way it's developing in our body, 90 seconds is the maximum. But because we think about those things, because we are repressing them, now they can stay forever. And this is the difference between emotions and feelings. An emotion is very raw and intense. Emotions, really, they don't last even 90 seconds, much less than that for the vast majority of us. They are vital, they are raw, they are super powerful, and we must feel them. Feelings, however, is when we think about the emotion or when we are repressing it. So now, the combination of thought and emotion creates feelings. And so the simplest example that I can give is that the emotion of fear, for instance, may develop into the feeling of anxiety. The emotion of sadness may develop into the feeling of depression. The emotion of anger may develop into the feeling of resentment. The emotion of disgust may develop into the feeling of hatred, and so on and so forth. Feelings can last forever, as long as we're thinking about those things. Emotions are just energies that we feel. They go in and out of our body. We should let it go and experience them. But as long as we are ignoring them, avoiding them, repressing them, or thinking about them, why is it happening to me? It is so unfair. Then now we're going to make this experience linger much longer than necessary. They can last a lifetime. If you could understand just that, that would solve so many of our problems as far as our mental and emotional health is concerned, and physical as well. Because whatever is happening in our mind is also reflected in the state of our body, as in our physiological health. Pumpkin puff. It's a lot of that up and down, but it feels frustrating to me. I don't know how to fix things after they're down. So tell me, what are the things that you need to fix when they're down? What are the things that happened every time that you split that you can't get back to? Some things, they're done. I know that, like you do. Some people who have broken them, they can never see us again, and it's understandable. However, your husband, is he still with you? I think he is. So when you say, I don't know how to fix things after they're down, do you need to fix anything? Your husband is still there. You've been together for 10 years, right? For me, it's telling me that you're doing well. He's still there. You don't need to fix anything about that. He knows that you're working on yourself. You know that he's working on himself. You're working together to heal, to understand, to make a better team. And this is the process, right? What is it, if you could tell me, what is it that you think you should fix after you go into a down phase? Sphinx Mummy. Pumpkin Puff. Don't try to explain yourself to people who don't want to understand you. Stop explaining and start watching them. They will reveal themselves. You do not need their approval or acceptance. It's kind of you, but you may not realize that Pumpkin Puff has borderline personality disorder, and that his husband basically has been working with him a long time about it. So I appreciate what you say, Sphinx Mummy. It's kind of you, but in the case of Pumpkin Puff, when we have borderline personality disorder, we say things that can be terribly toxic and harmful to the people we love the most. So something to take into consideration. But I understand where you're coming from. For everyone else, it's actually a good recommendation indeed. Pumpkin Puff. I have been writing down my feelings. I learned some new words for emotions like apathetic versus indifferent. Okay, it helps but my husband thinks I'm just writing down all my bad thoughts. Explain it to him. Just explain it to him. What does he say when you explain it to him? Tell him, this matters to me. This works for me. And also, if Sphinx Mommy, if you're listening to that, Pumpkin Puff's husband, we believe, is on the autism spectrum. So again, it's important to have all the elements of a situation here. Do your best to explain to him, and if he doesn't get it because he's on the autism spectrum, then tell him, trust me. If you love me, if you care about my feelings, I want you to know that this is important to me. I feel like that. And I need you to show me that you love me by just accepting this. He can do this. I'm doing this with my own husband all the time. And so, yes, it's possible. Yes, because my husband is on the spectrum as well. Just for those who are not familiar with the channel. Durbans, in the end, the biggest success is to live a life being authentically in a community. It depends. That's one way to look at it. For me, the biggest success is just to keep going. That's it. We don't need to compare. Some people may have fantastic success, turn around, a very bad start in life and making something amazing. Some people won't. It is okay. It is still a success. All life, all stories are valid. That's what I'm trying to say here. Right? I understand what you mean. If we can do this, for some people it can be different. For some people that could be creating something, writing a book, being a rock star, whatever, traveling over the world. And so we're all different. But the main thing when it comes to mental health is to develop a level of self-awareness so that we know that all the things that happened to us in the past happened for a reason, as opposed to still feeling sorry for ourselves and thinking, oh, why is it so unfair? Why did it happen to me? Understanding that all of those processes were part of a story, to me, is a success. And that's all we need. Everything else is an extra, right? And success comes in many flavors and many shapes to all of us. I hope it makes sense, Durbans. Does it? Sphinx Mommy. Also, some people just want to trigger you. By explaining yourself, you are showing they are in a position to give you acceptance or approval or above you. Don't do that to yourself, be the buyer. So again, this is a kind recommendation from you, and that could work for some people, but not in the within the context of the conversation. We're all different. But we can talk about this if you want. Carrie Frasca, I thank you for your nuggets of information. I enjoy you. Thank you so much, Carrie. Phoebes, Ash, there, I don't know what it means. Durbans, not just accepting and sitting with it and trusting in the curve going up again. How will we feel the positive feelings without the curve going down again? So yes, I agree with that. So basically, everything is about contrast. If we don't experience the down, we don't know that we are on the up. We don't know the value of being up. Life is always like that. And that's why the more we experience the down, the more when we heal, when we get better, we experience the highs. There is some sort of justice. Pumpkin Puff, I feel like I'm trying so many things and a lot of them do work. It's just when it comes to arguments, I feel like I'm the only one trying. I know it takes two. How do I stop comparing? Again, remind yourself, that version of you that is saying that is the victim version of yourself. Is the child that wants to be seen, to be heard. Why do I have to do everything? And no one ever gets me? It's that version of you. So what you want to do is to speak to that child and state, you know what? I'm here. It doesn't matter what we do. I hear you. I get you. I see you. I love you. I support you. You don't need anyone. Everyone else is a bonus. Learn how to love yourself. Learn how to accept yourself. If you can do this, you don't need anyone. But this is the work. Yeah, so it's not easy. It's a process. I feel like I'm the only one trying. Again, remember, we're talking about self-acceptance. If you can learn to accept yourself, it doesn't matter. You're doing it. It's not like I'm the only one trying. It's more like I'm doing this because I love myself. I want to do this and I don't care what others do. I do this myself because I deserve it. I want it. I'm worthy of it. It doesn't matter what the other people do. Just focus on yourself And I don't know that when you're having an episode, it's not easy, but this is the idea behind it. When it's happening, you can't think that because you have a child. But after that, you can be the adult and you can give a big hug to a child and teach him, tell him that you are safe, you're in charge now, and you're going to deal with all of those things, and you don't need anyone to do it. You can do it all on your own. And this is the thing, as you do it, people will follow you. Now, there's still an element, again, your husband is on the spectrum. And so because of that, it's more complicated. But yeah, just do your best, as you're doing already. It's not doing your best. Just appreciate that you're doing your best already. You don't need any more. You don't need to do any more than what you are doing because you're doing your best already. Focus on the progress. You say it yourself. I'm going to read your comment. A lot of them do work. Focus on that, right? I feel like I'm trying so many things and a lot of them do work. Yes, celebration, that's it. Just focus on that. Does it make sense? And it's not just focus on that, focus more on that. Palm is hi. Roxy Fire. Hey, after a lifetime of playing the role of emotional support and putting others first, I have neglected my own life. I have no hobbies and I feel misplaced. How do I build my own identity and life? You start now. See yourself like it's a new day. Every day is a blank canvas. So think yourself like an adventurer, like an explorer. You're going to explore your life. You're starting from scratch. It doesn't matter how old you are. It doesn't matter what happened or what didn't happen in the past. What matters is that now you have decided to find out what excites you, what makes you happy, what stimulates you positively, what is your thing. And so try stuff. Be curious. Be open-minded. Be silly. Try bits and bobs. It doesn't matter. You don't have to find the right thing right around now. It's about you testing all the flavors of life and finding out which ones you prefer. Over time, you'll have a better idea of the things that you prefer. And this is how you discover yourself. Does it make sense, Roxy? What makes you happy? Just that. To get started with, Durbans, Pumpkin Puff, just try to choose your comparison object more wisely and trust in yourself and your worth. Okay, again, thank you. It's kind of you. But yeah. We're all different. We'll have different baggage. It's important for me to say this, because otherwise, if you don't know that, that can come across as toxic positivity. As in, just do this, just do that. It's easy. But for some of us, it's really not easy. And I know this because I have a lot of baggage myself. I've worked on myself all my life. And so it's important to highlight. I know that you all come from a good place, and I want to encourage you guys talking to each other and supporting each other. But it's very important to realize that we are all different, and for some of us, even the most simplest thing can be very hard and very complicated and very difficult. And if you don't acknowledge that, it's like we are lacking of empathy for them. We're dismissing how they're feeling. But, thank you for the encouragement, nevertheless. Sphinx Mummy, Pumpkin Puff, you're doing better by stopping to explain yourself and letting go of the need of the approval/acceptance. You have to understand and approve of yourself and the people who you love, like partner of. So again, Sam, thank you guys, but yeah, Pumpkin Puff, you understand, I'm sure. Sphinx Mummy, family, but those will try to understand you and listen to you. Again, this doesn't work. With BPD, we destroy every single one in our relationship. Or family, or friends, or colleagues, or neighbors, everyone. I have no friends in the whole of France. Everyone is scared of me. I traumatized everyone. And so this is why I'm talking about toxic positivity and empathy. But again, if you don't know, you don't know. So hopefully, some of you may have got something interesting from that live stream so far. Sphinx Mummy, I understand. I don't want to judge prematurely. Okay, thank you. Thank you, Sphinx Mummy. Fresburger, what are the red flags of or warning signs that a relationship isn't worth working or fighting for? The acknowledgement of knowing when enough is enough. I don't see it like that. A lot of people talk about red flags and green flags, but in reality, whatever we're going to experience with someone is what we are meant to experience. We don't choose our partners. We're attracted subconsciously to someone, and we allow certain things because of X, Y, Z. And so red flags, green flags, it depends. Everything is contextual. So if you're going to tell me about your story and someone's story, then we can put things together. But there's no universal red flags or universal green flags. Because again, someone may be having some conditions or being on the spectrum. And so everything can be very different if we don't understand those things. Yeah. Conversely, some people who may be narcissistic, for instance, or psychopath, they can be extremely charming. They can be very clever. They can understand exactly how to manipulate and show all the green flags to everyone. And so, yeah, I'd say when it comes to relationship, again, it's not about finding the perfect partner for life. This is where we get it all wrong. I must find the right person. And because of that, we suffer. Instead, the way that I explain it, and I think we should look at it like that, is we go in life to find out about ourselves through our relationships. So we're going to meet a lot of people, and at some point, some of us may be lucky and stay with someone for a long time, or maybe not. But we don't want to think that we're on a quest to find our other half, someone special, our soul spirit, or whatever it's called. Instead, think, you know what, I'm going to do my best to meet people, find out how I am with them, and hopefully we can create some memories, we can grow in some capacities together, and then if it doesn't last as long as I wished it would, it's okay, because life is full of people, the world is full of people, and we're literally there to understand ourselves through meeting other people. And so it's not about, I don't believe in the red flag, green flag conversation. For me, it's the wrong way to look at it. It's oversimplifying things. And it's also looking at relationships like, again, a quest. It's not a quest. We don't need anything to complete us. We are going through life to learn to understand ourselves and to grow. That's different. And this is what non-attachment is about. It's about loving people for the experience, for the memories, for the growth that we're going to share together. Not because we want them to be with us physically forever. Does it help, Forest Burger? Pumpkin Puff, thank you. So this is one of those self-love situations. I think that's the hardest part. Yeah, it's a journey. It's a journey. Yeah. Again, if we were to work together, there are tools that can accelerate your journey. RTT, hypnosis, regression, tapping into your subconscious mind. However, it's also possible to get there without that, but it will take longer. That's it. Sphinx Mummy, I am just speaking from the experience of letting go of the need of approval and acceptance of others. But for some of us, it is the problem, right? For some of us, we have some trauma and some obsession, and we can't help. And so it's not like we can do it like that. It's happening at a subconscious level. So I'm just speaking from the experience of letting go of the need of approval and acceptance of others and giving this to myself. It has saved my mental health. So I'm glad that you did. Well done. It's not an easy journey, and you should know it, right? It took some time and some work and a lot of self-reflection and a lot of hurt for you to get there. And so, yeah. But well done for you for having done this. Pumpkin Puff, yes, you are making sense. I see what you are saying, and I am overlooking my own accomplishment. Thank you. I just don't want to become conceited because of my fear of being like my father. You're never going to be conceited because you're thinking about it, you're talking about it all the time, and you're working on yourself. So you're fine. You don't really need to worry about this. You will never be like your father. You are not like your father. It is that simple. You are not like him. He's a narcissist. You have BPD, right? Now it's similar kind of family of personality disorder, but still, you're not the same sort of people. The energy that drives the motives of your dad is totally different than yours. Narcissist needs to control and manipulate others because that gives them a sense of being seen and important and mattering. Whereas you react the way you do because you're desperate to be seen, because you just want to be loved. You don't want to control and manipulate people for the sake of controlling them. You may want to control them every now and then just because you are desperate, you don't know what else to do. So it's very different. Pumpkin Puff, sorry to overhaul the life with my BPD, not at all. And overthinking, I just know that you always help guide me in the right direction, not at all. That's what I'm here for all of you guys. And so if you feel that you have a lot of things to say, just say it, and we are going to work on that together, right? Roxy, thank you. It makes sense. Okay, thank you. I'm learning to settle my nervous system after leaving an avoidant person. I'm unlearning my patterns and relearning what my needs are. I am diagnosed ODHD. Okay, good on you. Sphinx Mummy, indents. Edents, I don't know what it means, edents. Is it a misspell? Pumpkin Puff, I appreciate that. For whatever reason, I really want to try the hard way, but if I get really bad, I will ask you to hypnotize me. You do what you feel is right for you to do. There are many ways. It's not just me. There could be other protocols that could help you as well. It's for you to go on your own journey and to find out what and who is best for you within each stage of your journey. Sphinx Mummy, Pumpkin, you are not overhauling anything. If anything, I am impressed by how you express yourself and dare to be vulnerable. Okay, I agree with that. Thank you, Sphinx Mummy. Yes, absolutely. Pumpkin Puff, my husband says I act like him sometimes, which always makes it worse. I had to explain that to him. Okay, so remember that your husband, the way he expressed himself, so we never, I don't think we talked about it like that, but the way your husband expresses itself, the way your husband expresses himself is different to other people. So on one hand, because of the BPD, you're going to have a different interpretation of what people say. But the way your husband speaks and expresses himself is also different to the norm. So now we have two filters, double trouble, right? And so learn how to, and again, it's going to take some time, but learn how not to take literally what he says. He may be blunt at times, but I'm pretty sure that he doesn't mean it. Or the majority of time he doesn't. Sometimes he may. And so remind yourself that if he's on the spectrum of autism, I know that I have struggled with that a lot, again, with my husband, because he's just being himself. And for a long time, I thought that he was doing it on purpose, trying to hurt my feelings. And then we found out that he was autistic, and it made sense. It's just the way, it's literally the only way he knows how to express himself. And so it was never personal. Student, when younger boy was very sensitive and still am, but I try to suppress it. Okay, so you don't want to suppress anything before we even continue. I was not very smart kid. I got criticized by elders called dumb and for mispronouncing words, and now I get flustered speaking. Okay. I can see how it went. So maybe you had a lot of pressure. You were sensitive, so because of that, it was difficult for you to express yourself. And now people were bullying you also because of that. Do you have some conditions, student? A lot of people think that they're dumb because their brain is different. So that's typically for people who have ADHD, for instance. I certainly get that myself, and so many others. So just based on what you say, I was not very smart. I got criticized by elders. How do you know that you're not smart? Some people come to see me and they believe that they're not smart, but they're actually very smart. But because we've been told that we're not smart, they believe that, and they don't see how clever they actually are. Like literally, like a lot of my clients, as we go again through the hypnosis in the past or in their memories, realize that they've been put down by their parents, by teachers, by anyone who looked after them. And because of them, and because of that, they're holding themselves back. And they're literally fulfilling a prophecy when they're actually much more able and capable than they think they are. I had a lady a few months ago telling me that I'm not smart enough, and she speaks 5 languages fluently. I'm like, really? Do you know how much it takes for someone to speak 1 language properly? You do 5. So student, what makes you think? Do you really believe that you are dumb? What are your evidence? Could you share them with me, please? Because you could be absolutely wrong. It could just be a belief. And that belief may create that low self-esteem and those anxiety when you are trying to speak to people, because you keep on reminding yourself that you're not smart enough and they're going to bully you again, just like they did in the past. Martin Liz, hello. How to know when you are lying to yourself? It's a broad question. When you should feel it. I don't know. Can you be more specific, please? Because sometimes we don't know. Sometimes we put a mask and we have created a sense of identity to function in the world for such a long time, but it's automatic. We don't know. And so I'm going to answer your question. We don't always know. We know when we have an aha moment. Sometimes we're like, gosh, what am I doing? This is not my life. This is not me. But until it happens, a lot of us, we just carry on doing what we think we should be doing, living the life, the career, pleasing people, doing things that makes everyone happy, but not us. But we've been so programmed that we don't know. So a lot of people don't know that they're lying to themselves. Does it answer your question, Martin? DMC, message retracted. Pumpkin Puff, correct. He tells me that he has good intentions, but sometimes I just tell him he's being seen as insensitive. So you need to both remind yourself of this. When I realized that my husband never meant anything, I felt so bad. Because I really told him, oh, why are you taking for such a long time? And so maybe realizing this will help you remember quicker in the heat of the moment or right after. Pumpkin Puff, I need to remember what you said a few streams ago that actually showed my husband. You mentioned that I need to see him as clumsy versus thinking he's intentionally doing it. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Like me, when I look at him, my husband, I see a big teddy bear with some big balls, and he doesn't mean it. He's very cute, but he can absolutely say the wrong things. He does it all the time. And because I have BPD and I can be very insecure, I can take things very personally when it comes from him, because I fixed this with most people. But with him, we've been together for 21 years. So we have installed emotional dynamics for a long time that takes time to undo. And so he can still really trigger my buttons because we have created that together. And so I'm working on that myself. Obviously, it's working well, it's getting better and better, but there are still moments where I feel that I have to tell him, you know, I'm sorry, but I have to express myself, and I have to tell you, you just said something that really hurt my feelings, and I know I've got BPD, and I know that you don't mean it because you get autism, but I need to express it. So, and then he will say, oh, I really didn't mean it, and then he will apologize because I have taught him how to apologize even if he doesn't understand why, because he understands that it's important to me. So yeah, maybe you can do this. Teach your husband to apologize for the sake of apologizing, not because it's right or wrong, but because he cares about your feelings, and for you it's important. Pumpkin Puff, it's just changing the radio station in my head is so difficult. I think you're doing fine. Again, remember that in the moment, you can't do nothing. You can only work before and after an event. When things happen, they're just happening. And so when people say, again, you should respond instead of reacting emotionally, it's not possible. We always react to whichever way we are meant to react, but then we can choose to address the trigger afterward, so that the next time we are less reactive. People who can respond instead of reacting, they're not like us. They don't have a trauma brain. They can regulate their emotions, we can't, because of the things that happen to us, because we are neurodivergent. And so we don't have that ability. This is precisely what we are dealing with, an inability to regulate our emotions. And so never feel bad for not being able to control yourself. In the moment, that's all you can. You cannot do anything else. It's your program, right? But you can work before and after. And over time, it will be easier for you to deal with the moment. You may come to the place where you can choose to respond eventually instead of reacting. But people who say, it's simple, just don't react emotionally, again, the lack of empathy, they don't realize that for many of us, it's literally a trauma response. Our brain develops differently, and we are super reactive. Pumpkin Puff, not to be weird, I just remember things about people. Thank you for your hearts. I'm going to have a sip of tea. It's coming to the end of the thread for now. What do you mean, I just remember things about people? 100% agree with you. Okay, nice, thank you. I'm just quiet because I'm waiting for more comments. Martin Liz, thank you for your stream. Thank you, Martin. Why do we stick so much to our thoughts? Is it emotional glue? It's just because we don't understand how our mind works. We think that our thoughts are important, so we're attaching ourselves to them because we believe that it's telling us the truth. It's telling us something very important. It's giving us commands. We must obey our thoughts, and it's not true. So this is part of, again, personal development and healing, to understand that thoughts are just thoughts. So it's a process, but you want to learn. Why do we stick so much to our thoughts? Because you don't know. That's it. But if you know, you can learn and you can develop that skill over time. It's the same thing with emotions. It's not just the thoughts. I created a video on my YouTube channel. Check it out. Let me see. 5 months ago. It's a long form video, and it's called You Are Whatever You Are Experiencing. So that could really explain that concept to you. If I believe that I am my thought, in that moment I am my thought. If I believe that I am my emotion, my feeling, my emotional state, in that moment I will be it. Whatever we believe becomes our reality. But if I can work on myself and learn how to separate myself from my thought and from my feelings, not as in repressing, but experiencing them, observing them, allowing them, and letting them go, now I'm not going to be either my thoughts or my actions or my status or my feelings. I'm going to be the observer of it. And this is where healing starts, when we can learn how to observe ourselves, when we can learn how to observe our thoughts, when we can learn how to observe our emotions. But as long as we don't know, we will still believe that indeed we are whatever we're experiencing this moment. We are like a vase. We are the vase. But whatever we fill up the vase with, we become for one moment. Pumpkin Puff. It filtered me. I remembered that you said your 22nd anniversary is late March. Yes, 21st actually, I think. We met in 2005. So it's going to be, yeah, I think in Chinese, Chinese people, they count the year that we are in. Westerners, they count it after. So let's say if I'm born on the 1st of April, if I'm a Westerner, I will get older on that day. Chinese people, they count the year that went behind, which is actually more accurate. But yes, back to the Western system. We've been together for 20 years, and the 31st of March is going to be our 21st anniversary. Thank you for remembering. Pumpkin Puff. Then I realized that it might be strange that I remembered that when it might not be normal to remember something like that. There's no such thing as normal. Sometimes we remember the most random stuff. And that goes all throughout our life, even as a child. A lot of things we remember just because in that moment it was special, it was exciting, there's something about the conjunction of everything that made that moment special. And so we can remember the most random things, and it happens in adulthood as well. And so yes, I'm glad that somehow you remember this about us. Fraser Kill. What's your thought on developing self-validation? It's something I can't seem to build no matter what I try. I love your videos, mate. Thank you. Self-validation, are you meaning self-love, right? It's a process. So how do we love ourselves? By learning how to stop hating ourselves. That's it. It's not about something that you have to add to your arsenal of thoughts. It's something that you have to let go of. And often I talk about this like that. How do you become happy? How do you find happiness? You don't find happiness. You let go of whatever is making you unhappy. It goes in that order. And so it's the same thing with love. How do you love yourself? By stop hating yourself. But if you don't know this, we're going to keep looking for something, not realizing that it was never about that process. We need to find out, why do we hate ourselves? What is it about us that we dislike? Why are we always talking to ourselves in such a derogatory way? And then when we can locate, understand the mechanism of it, then we can upgrade the program. And I did a video about it on my YouTube channel. So I'm promoting my channel today. Self-Love 101. 2 months ago, I put a long form video on my YouTube channel. Check it out. How to love yourself. Self-Love 101. It's a 7 minutes video. But even if you don't go there, just remember this. Self-validation is self-love. And so you learn how to love yourself by stop allowing those voices in your head that keep on telling you that you're not enough. They're not your voice, but the voice of your parents, the voice of your bullies, the voice of your teachers, the voice of whoever hurt you. And the voice is still there. And you're still replaying that old tape, and you still believe it. And you don't have to. Forrest Burger. Can watching too much psychology... Oops. Just bear with me, please. My watch is telling me that I should post my third TikTok post of the day. So just bear with me. I'll do it straight away. The people who are obsessed.
When Take Me to Church came out.
Shush. Just bear with me, please. 1 second. I'll come back to you straight away. I just want to make sure that it's fully uploaded, that there was no glitch in the system. The people who are obsessed. Okay, that's out. So let's go back to Forrest Burger. Can watching too much psychology or growth videos be detrimental, almost like you're focusing on growth when not needed? Makes you look for issues you didn't need to explore, like looking for problems. Anything is possible. It's never about the thing. Nothing is ever because of one thing. It takes many parameters for anything to function in any which way. And so it depends. That's your answer. And for some people, it can be a problem. For some people, it can be neutral. For some people, it can be the opposite. It can be very positive. For some people, the opposite can be any of those things and more. So it depends. It really depends. There's not one thing in the world that works for everyone. There's not one thing in the world that is toxic for everyone either. It's just, it all depends on so many parameters. And so if you come from a place of curiosity and wanted to explore things, I'd say generally speaking, it's a good thing to learn more and to read more. But some of us have some personality that can be obsessive, and that becomes a problem. So it depends. And also, it depends on the sort of mind that you have, because there's a lot of information out there. Therefore, there's also a lot of noise, and there's a lot of confusion, and there's a lot of things that are not so great either. So there's that. Right? A lot of people come across like gurus, super coaches, psychologists, professors, whatever, and then we find out that they're not so good at what we do, and they're not great people either. So I think everyone knows about Deepak Chopra, for instance. Big letdown, Noam Chomsky. Even Tony Robbins. I was hugely disappointed when I saw that he was doing some work with, what's his name, Jordan Peterson. And I realized that he does this because he lives in a bubble, in a world where for him it's not a problem. And so I hope that he's going to learn from that. We're talking about misogyny here. Xenia, how can I stop attracting bullying? It's getting worse and worse. People have no respect. By changing the way you look at yourself. It's a journey, it's a process. But basically, the reason why you attract bullies is because you are sending the signal out there that you want them into your life. You're saying, hello guys, come and walk all over me. This is what I want. It's subconscious. You don't choose this deliberately. But basically, the way you see yourself is the result of what happened to you in your past. And so if you were bullied, if you were manipulated, if you were hurt by your parents in childhood, you would have created a sense of self that believes, this is who I am, this is my normality, this is what I deserve. And even your nervous system will get used to that sort of energy. If you grew up in chaos, you need chaos. Silence is scary, it's not right. And so unless you change the way you perceive yourself, you will keep on sending the signal out there. This is me. I see myself as a prey because I suffered from my childhood. And so I'm a prey. And now the predators, we can see, there she is. Let's go and dance that dance together. And so you're going to fulfill each other's destiny, because you need people like that to confirm the narrative that you have about yourself. And they need people like you to confirm their own narrative. This is how we attract each other. I always say to people, we don't suffer from bad people. We suffer because we allow them in our lives. And precisely, I talked about it on my video today. I put a long form video today at 3 o'clock called How to Set Boundaries with a Narcissist. There you go. Check it out. Literally today, I put one long form video every week on YouTube. And the theme of today is how to set boundaries that work with a narcissist. But this is from the perspective of understanding boundaries. But I do talk about it anyway. The reason why you keep on attracting people who take advantage of you, bullies, is because you can't set boundaries, because you don't know how to do those things. So you can learn. Again, nothing is ever anyone's fault. Right? We do our best with what we have been given. But now that you know that, you can work on that. How do you stop attracting bullying? Also, not only on working on your sense of self, but also by setting boundaries. And by setting boundaries is one of the way you practice self-love. Each time you say no, each time you say, if you do that, I will do that, and you take that action afterward, you are declaring to yourself that you love yourself. I'm worthy of that. I deserve better than that. So what's the way to do this? Check my video, Xenia. God love you so much. One time I told someone who wanted advice about being liked on a new job to remember things about people, but the person wrote down personal things about the people and it was found by the people. Let me read it again. One time I told someone who wanted advice about being liked on a new job to remember things about people, but the person wrote down personal things about the people and it was found by the people. It's very confusing. The people, which one, who? I don't understand. Could you clarify this for me, please? But the one thing that I can pick up on at this point in time is that we don't want to be liked by people. We want to do our best to do what we have to do, and the right people will like us. And if they don't like us, despite us doing our job, then it's a different problem to address. We never want to do things to be liked. We want to do things because they are the things that we're meant to be doing, because we like to do those things because this is who we are. And the right people will like us. And the wrong one will dislike us, and it's a good thing, because if someone dislikes us, they're giving us an information. The information that they are not our people. It's that simple. We don't need to be liked by everyone. We just need to be liked by the right people. And this happens automatically when we are being authentic. But if you want to clarify what you mean by remember things about people, but the person wrote down personal things about the people, it was found by the people. What people are we talking about? It's very, very confusing for me, please. God love you so much. Cast Iron Kitty. As long as you can separate what applies to you and what doesn't. God loves you so much. If you give advice to someone and it goes bad for them, should we feel bad? Okay, I understand. I understand. So I didn't need to understand the whole thing before. Just that. If you give advice to someone and it goes bad for them, should we feel bad? It depends. It depends how you gave the advice. If you said to them, I know the truth, listen to me, and you will win, and they don't win, you should feel bad. What you want to do is just to say, this is my advice, I wish you the best, hopefully it will work. If not, if I was in your shoes, this is what I would do. Now you can never feel bad, because you don't come from a place of authority and certainty and promises and guarantee. You're just sharing what you would do, and that's it. And so there's no responsibility there. I think it's important when we give advice to always remind people, this is my advice, this is my experience. Because I experienced this doesn't mean that it's going to be the same with you. But I just want to share it with you to give you an insight, and maybe it will be helpful to you, maybe not. It's the same thing that I'm doing here, because I'm working that capacity where I'm just having few comments. I don't know much about you guys, and so I'm doing my best, and I always tell you guys, based on what I've read, this is what I say. But do tell me more if you want us to go further. I never say, just do it. Just do this. A lot of people online are very arrogant. They believe that they know the answer for everything. Just do this. This is the truth. This is the only way it will work for you. If it doesn't work for you, it's because you're not trying hard enough. And this is rubbish. This is not the way to go about it, in my book. I think we should be really reminded that, again, it takes many parameters for anything to happen. So, yeah. Parisa, how do I stop my shopping addiction? You want to find out why you need an addiction in the first place. Shopping is just shopping. It's like everything else. Anything can be an addiction. Working can be an addiction. Going to the gym can be an addiction. People pleasing can be an addiction. And so it's not about the thing. It's about why you need to do the thing to feel better about yourself. What are you trying to distract yourself away from? What feelings are you trying to avoid? So how do you stop shopping addiction? You want to understand what is it about you that needs an addiction in the first place. A lot of us shop or work or go to the gym, and we don't all get addicted. A lot of us think, and we don't all get addicted to overthinking, and so on and so forth. A lot of us eat, and we don't all get addicted to food. And so it's not the thing, it's why you need it. And so generally speaking, when I talk about addiction, I always talk about the smoke and the fire. The smoke is the addiction, the fire is the reason as to why we need an addiction. And so anxiety, depression, overwhelm, trauma, any of those things would be the reason as to why you need an addiction. Maybe it's your coping mechanism to deal with stress. Maybe you're having some little boost of dopamine whenever you buy things, and in this moment, you are in a little heaven for one moment, and you're forgetting about the stress, about the depression, about the anxiety, about whatever feelings you're trying to repress. Do you do some work on yourself, Parisa? Pumpkin Puff. Oh, good. I can't wait to watch your long-form video. That's exactly what I need. Fantastic. Parisa, I watched your video about meditating. It was very good. Thank you very much. Thank you. So the one about meditation was the one that I put out last week. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Pumpkin Puff. My father has been treating me like a puppet again, so I didn't talk to him for multiple weeks, and he complained that I should act like him with his father, running to his head / being controlled. So when you watch my video about how to set boundaries with a narcissist, you will understand what you have to do at the end of it. This is precisely for situations like yours. At the end, you understand what is the ultimate boundary. There's only one option. You know which one it is. We talk about it. But do watch the video, and hopefully you find more clarification there. Cat Aaron Kitty, message retracted. Pumpkin Puff. On a thought from before, do you think if I feel like my husband says something seen as rude / insensitive, should I just ask him if he's intending to be mean or not? Yes, ask him. Are you trying to hurt my feelings? Are you trying to make me sad or make me angry? But the thing is that if you say that, he will probably come up with something else. Because also, when in a state of stress, they will defend themselves as well. So it's a tricky one. I'd say the best thing to do is to, again, change your physiological state. Come out of that state of being high on intensity. And then, after that, once you are both calm, then you can talk. In the moment, he will probably defend himself. Yeah. Very often when someone is on the spectrum of autism and had trauma, they will be very defensive and they won't be able to accept that they are wrong. It's part of a condition and the way they deal with those situations. And so that can make things much more complicated. It's like pathological demand avoidance. Is the autism version of oppositional defense disorder in ADHD. And it's when they are being told to do something, they won't be doing it because they feel that they are losing their autonomy. And it's something that happening subconsciously. We don't choose this. So yeah, I don't want to talk about it just now. I mean, it's a bit complicated. Just remember to switch state before you talk. When you are in the heat of the moment, you are the Hulk. And he is something else as well. So wait that you are both becoming human again. So that you can then see each other from that perspective and utilize that part of your mind as opposed to just protecting yourself and yeah, fighting back. Xenia, thank you a lot for your advice. Okay, fantastic, thank you. I just feel not seen, but I don't like the way to be seen like that's getting... Let me read it again. I just feel not seen, but I don't like the way to be seen like that by getting bullied. I don't understand. But I don't like the way to be seen like that by getting bullied. I don't like the way to be seen like that by getting bullied. Okay, I get it. I mean, I get... I don't get the concept yet, but I get the sentence. Let's try again. I don't like the way to be seen like that. Okay, you don't like to be seen like that by getting bullied. I didn't get that part. Parisa, I think it's the dopamine hit and the distraction from boredom. I also was very poor as a child, so now I'm scared I don't have enough clothing to be perceived as normal. Okay, so that's your journey. That's your self-reflection. Keep going. Keep working on yourself. You're asking me, how can I stop by doing that work? When you realize, I did this because of that, then the next thing you can ask yourself is that, okay, now I did that because of that. Do I still need to do that now? Now that I'm a grown-up, now that I'm no longer a child, do I still need to repeat the same behavior as in the past? Probably not. And this is where you start to change your behavior, by realizing that you don't have to keep doing those things that you used to do. We do this automatically, it's subconscious. But again, it depends at which level it's affecting you, because for some of us, it's really, really deeply ingrained and attached to the other baggage. Right? When that's the case, we need to do some more work. But it could be also as simple as that. For some of us, it may be quite superficial level of problem, and it may be possible for you to address it by realizing that you don't need to do this anymore. Sometimes we just do things literally out of habit. Sometimes we just need a little shock in the system as well. So basically, there's a part of you that does this because there's an emotional association with what you're doing and the result that you get out of what you're doing. But if you can change the definition of it, the association that you have, then that could be sufficient. The example that I can give you is, for instance, let's say someone is smoking cigarettes and they want to stop smoking. We want to realize that until they work on themselves, the reason they smoke is probably because there's an attachment. Maybe I'm smoking because it reminds me of someone that used to smoke, and whenever I'm stressed out, if I can feel, maybe dad used to smoke or mom used to smoke and now they're gone. And now when I'm stressed out, subconsciously, if I smoke, it's because I want to be with them. I feel, I can smell, it reminds me of them, and that makes me feel better. And so the association is positive. And so we can change that association. We can replace it with, smoking doesn't mean me reconnecting with grandma or whoever that I used to love. It only means death, suffering, illness, cancer, dirt, pollution. Now we're creating a very severe association with the smoking instead of the someone that I love. And so maybe the shopping could be, if you can find some connection. Did you have someone that you cared for who shopped a lot? Maybe you came from from a place of scarcity, and maybe you saw your mom or your dad for the first time. They had a bit of money, they bought something, they're excited, and you felt that excitement. And so now you have attached yourself to that, and whenever you buy a handbag or whatever, a coat, you are experiencing that again, and it's for you also, again, a way to be reconnected to your mom or your dad or whoever. It's just an example. It can be many other things, but it's about understanding the mechanics of the mind and why the most seemingly harmless situation can create problems like that over the course of a lifetime. Things escalate if you don't address them ASAP. Does it make sense, Parisa? Kay Stevens, hi Didi, good to see you again. Thank you. How are you doing? And please don't call me young man anymore. I know you don't mean that, but I really don't like it. I think I've been traumatized by some people when I was younger who used to call me like that. And so I can't do this anymore. Student, I think this developed due to elders, short-tempered, tired parents, and Big Bro only giving attention to me when I got things wrong, especially when I spoke and the way I dressed, rarely got any half encouragement for when I did things well. Instead, they thought criticizing would help improve, which has improved me a little, but has left massive holes in my confidence. Okay, so you understand why you have no confidence. We talked about it because, and you are confirming this, because some people that you looked up to put you down. And so now you have not upgraded that program and the voice is still reverberating in the back of your mind. And so you feel that you don't have confidence because you have a narrative going on, telling you you're not good enough, you're rubbish, they're going to laugh at you, look at yourself, you look ridiculous, or whatever that we have told you. You're stupid. You are doing this to yourself by allowing that voice in your head. Realize this. You don't choose this. It's subconscious. But if you can understand this, then you can learn how to realize that, it's not my voice. It's not the truth. It's not a fact. It's just an old recording from the past that keeps on being played. So I can choose to not listen to that voice. I can choose to talk to myself in a better way. Is it true that I am worthless? No. There's a lot of things that I love about myself. There's a lot of things that I'm proud of about myself. Is it true that I'm stupid? No. The things that I love, I'm good at them. I can do things that other people can't. And so intelligence is really one of those things that people get it wrong. There are many types of intelligence. We've been conditioned to believe that IQ is very important, and it's not. It's only one type of intelligence. According to Howard Gardner, an American psychologist, there's at least 8, 10, 12 different types of intelligence. And so you have the mathematical intelligence and the literature intelligence, which are what we call a classic type of intelligence. But you also have, let me see, because I keep forgetting them. So Howard Gardner multiple intelligence. Okay, so you have linguistic verbal intelligence, logical mathematical, so that's the one that I mentioned already, and then you have visual spatial, you have bodily kinesthetic, you have musical intelligence, you have interpersonal intelligence, you have intrapersonal intelligence, you have naturalist, and that was only when he started his first book. I think he came up with a few more. Existentialist intelligence. And basically, you don't need anything else but one type of intelligence. And we all have one type of intelligence. We can all shine in society if we're doing the thing that we are meant to be doing. So if you're an artist, if you're a sport person, if you're like someone who likes to be in the jungle, whatever it is, we all have skills that makes us special. You don't need to remember books and math or whatever. Those can be good in some context. But if you put those people in different places, they're lost. Different people, different talents, different skills, different place in society. We all contribute to something called society. So we all have something to bring. And so you have an intelligence. You just need to find out what is your intelligence, what you like, what you're good at. And then you realize, gosh, I'm so smart. And you can do something where people are going to love you for that. If you can, accept yourself, find out what it is, and be authentic. Does it help? Student, encouragement for when I did things well. Instead, they thought criticizing would help. So I read that. Yeah. Xenia, I don't know how to explain this. Like people don't like me or cannot deal with me and find reasons to treat me like bullying. So explain it. If you see yourself like something, you would also behave in such a way. We don't realize that the way we see ourselves is going to create a personality, a behavior that will trigger others to basically experience what you believe of yourself. But also, when we react in certain ways, we attract certain type of people. And again, I talk about this on my last video. Check it out. There are two types of people within the context of that conversation. There are people who are reasonable and people who are problematic. If we are confident, we can set boundaries with both, no problem. If we have low self-esteem, two things. People who are normal, as in reasonable, they may actually become opportunist because we're sending that energy, we're offering them something that they didn't think about. So now they may actually take advantage of us, not because they had bad intention originally, but because we are suggesting it to them. So they may change. And then there's the problematic ones, the narcissist. Those, they're attracted to you because they can see that you are the perfect prey, the perfect candidate for them to control and manipulate and take advantage of. And so again, it's down to you. It's not your fault. Nothing is anyone's fault. I don't believe in that. It's not your responsibility either. We all do our best. However, it's coming from you. You're allowing things because of all the things that happened to you up to this point. Whatever happened to you, all the belief that you have, your trauma, everything about your behavior and the way you express yourself and the energy that you send out there each moment is the result of your past. You didn't choose that past. But if you can realize this, you have the power back into your hand. The power is on your side. Because all you have to do is to change yourself. You can't change them. As long as you look at them, you have no power. What's wrong with him? What's wrong with her? What's wrong with them? The power is there, out there. You can't do nothing. When you realize, why am I feeling like that? What am I doing? What can I change about myself? Now, you're back in business. Power. You can do something. You can change things. Does it help, Xenia? Pumpkin Puff. He mentioned one time that he didn't want to seem stupid, but he's not. He does things sometimes clumsily, but I feared that I made him feel unable to freely speak because of my Hulk side. Okay, the reason why he doesn't want to be stupid is probably because he's been told that he was stupid or clumsy in the past. So he has his own baggage. That's highly possible, right? So in that case, don't tell him. Just play it in your mind. He's not stupid. No one is stupid anyway. Remember, I'm just talking about stupidity and intelligence here. But you can see him as clumsy in regards to your expectations. You don't have the same vocabulary, the same way to communicate. We're all different. And the problem is not him or you, it's that you don't speak the same language. And so see, for now, if it makes it easier for you, see him as clumsy. Or find a way to remind yourself that you are both learning how to communicate. Yeah. Xenia, for me, as I stopped smoking, I can't stand the smell of cigarettes and change the side of the street or something like that. So yeah, so you have created an association. Because you stopped smoking, now you have that association. It's bad. I don't want to do this. I don't ever want to deal with that. It stinks. It's bad for health. It's dirty. So you did that. You changed the association that you have with cigarettes. Parisa, I find it such a superficial thing to do. I can use this belief to quit. Thank you, Didi. Okay, fantastic. Good luck with that. Yeah, change the association you have with cigarettes. Cigarettes, out of all the addictions, is one of the most straightforward to deal. I mean, addiction is one of my specialism, and smoking cigarettes is relatively straightforward. God loves you so much. In America, when people call you young man or woman, especially when you are older, it's a way for them to compliment you. But I agree with you, it is silly. So this is the thing. In America, in China, in France, a lot of places, it doesn't matter. If it hurts my feeling, I'm sharing with you. It hurts my feeling. Please respect me. I don't care that in your part of the world, everyone does that. If you respect me, if you want us to be friends, consider my feelings. That's all that matters, right? And I do the same the other around. If I say something that is hurting your feelings, if I care about you, I say, I'm sorry, what did I do? I want to learn, I want to do better the next time because I don't want to hurt your feelings, right? But I will never use this is how we do it, because otherwise it's like, I don't care about how you feel. What matters is that I'm used to that, and you need to accept that, otherwise, too bad for you. And this is not how I believe we should engage with people. But thank you for the comment. I'm glad that you agree with me. Yeah, I understand that you're trying to explain things from our perspective. But it's the same in France, it's the same in China. Basically, some old people and they don't mean that on purpose, but they say that because it makes them feel better. I'm not just old, I'm wise, you must respect me. So we say young man, young lady. Again, those things are happening subconsciously, but because of me, there are things that I don't allow, and those are my boundaries. Mariana Kogat said, hi, hello, Xenia. Okay, now I understand, thank you. Student, these thoughts are racing so fast in the moment, I get fluttered, I stutter, and cannot articulate myself properly, and in most social settings, stay silent. How do I overcome? You address your anxiety. It's not just the thought. You have a lot of baggage. You have some trauma, perhaps, some level of anxiety. You want to address this. You want to find out the root cause of your problem. Right? If you've been put down consistently by your parents, your siblings, your teachers, this is a trauma. It's a CPTSD. You've always been belittled. But it doesn't just dent your confidence. It basically teaches you as a child that you are not enough. And what it means is that if I'm not enough, it means that I'm not safe. They don't love me unconditionally. They don't support me unconditionally. They don't protect me unconditionally. I need to do something to deserve love. And so what it means is that I'm not safe. And so your brain is going to create some systems, such as the lack of confidence, such as whatever you feel in your body when you're facing people. Those are systems that you have put into place yourself to protect yourself from the world, because your parents didn't protect you then. They didn't mean it. No one does. They did what they think was good. But this is how we hurt others. This is why it's so important to raise the conversation about mental health, about psychology, about emotional intelligence. Student, sometimes I feel confident after reading a quote when I'm in a good mood, but it never lasts long. Yes, because you have different situation, different triggers, different, your nervous system is going to absorb and detect different things each moment. It's all happening vastly at a subconscious level. And so, yes, confidence is very, very specific as well. You may be confident in some areas of your life, but not in others. So there's no such thing as someone that is totally, ultimately confident for everything. There are some people like that, but they are quite rare. There are the people who don't care about whatever others think. Right? Some of us, we get there as we work on ourselves, but it's quite rare. For many of us, we are good in some places, but not in other places. So for instance, some people may be very successful in their company, at work, but then when it comes to romantic interactions, now they don't have confidence. Or if they're on the dance floor or at the gym. Martin, back to observing yourself. Krishnamurti said, the observer is the observed. There is no division. How do you understand this? I am thinking about this for a while now. The observer is the observed. Yes. So when you're observing, nothing exists without its counterpart. However, when it comes to consciousness, you're observing things, but you're also observing yourself. Because whatever that you observe in the world is a reflection of yourself. Nothing that you experience is not a reflection of yourself. So when you're observing the world, you're observing a reflection of yourself. Does it make sense? I was thinking about it today, talking about synchronicity. I was having one of those numerous conversations that I have in my head about any topics at all the time, and I was thinking about That expression, if a tree falls in the forest and there's no one to hear it, does the sound exist? And the answer is no, because without eardrum, that vibration is not translated into a sound. However, we can extend this to everything else. Does something exist if there's not an observer? No. If there's nothing to observe something, that thing has not existed for no one. If there was one fly that seen that event has existed for that fly. Now it has existed. If there's more than one witness, then that event would have existed for more than one witness. But then we're getting to the point where, how about me if I'm alone? If there's no one, then does what I do exist? Yes, because we are the observer of ourselves. I hope it makes sense. I hope this answers the question, Martin. Student, is it okay for a parent to give more attention to another child as they may have more need, or is that unfair? It's normal. It is unfair and it is normal. So basically, we're all human. And when parents have more than one kid, they have a different relationship with every single child. It's normal. Because first, they're human, so different child will have different personality, and they may prefer one over the other one. But also there's the order of the child. There's a difference between the first child, the middle child, the last one, because between the first and the middle and the one, they are different people as well. They grow in their own life as adults. Things are different. The financial situations could be different as well. The experience as a parent is different. The situation is like, and so there's a lot of parameters. And so essentially, in a family of more than one kid, not a single sibling has the same parent, because they have a different experience. And that's why very often you may have, let's say there are two kids in a family, one does very well, one does very bad, because dad was alcoholic. And so people are going to say, oh, the one who does very well has overcome the problem, whereas the other one is such a loser. It's not like that. They both had a different experience. They both had different parents. And so we must realize this. A lot of people don't talk about it, they don't realize this, but there's not once, if you have siblings, any one of you, I want you to realize that you didn't have the same upbringing, the same relationship, the same parents, the same family. The whole experience of the family was different to you compared to your siblings. And it's normal. And it's not fair. But then again, life is not fair. However, because I like to be optimistic and positive, life is not fair, but we can do our best to make it fairer for ourselves. Does it help, student? God loves you so much. I agree with you. I was just letting you know in case you didn't know. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. K. Stevens, student, I went through that and I believe it's unfair when it's not explained to you as to why some children never feel loved enough and want that attention all for themselves been there. Okay. But also, we are all different. We all have different sensitivities as well. So there's a lot of parameters that come into play. Xenia, but there are some children that got not much attention from their parents, but it's one reason why I'm not feeling seen. They're busy with working, or you just were annoying, it gets even more. So again, yeah, a lot of parameters. We live in a society that is problematic, and that is the cause of all those problems. The problem is the culture. The problem is a capitalist society. The problem is the way everything is structured. If we were teaching people how to be parents, how to love the kids unconditionally, but also if society was supporting them better, because since we live in a capitalist society, it's terribly difficult for most people to look after the kids properly. Both parents need to work, so there's not always someone at home, and also they're stressed out, financial pressure, and that creates a lot of repercussions on the development of a child. And it's not the fault of the parents. They're doing their best, but they're overwhelmed. It's because of society. There are some societies that are more collective as opposed to individualist. and they are better as far as raising kids are concerned. And so I'm thinking about, so there are some places in the world that still exist where you have big communities and kids are raised by the whole village. You know the proverb, African proverb, a child needs a village to be raised, or something like that. I've done a post about it, but I forgot about the exact quote. It's a beautiful proverb. Let me find it. It takes a village to raise a child. And so basically, in those collective societies, the child is always surrounded by a lot of people. Many uncles, many aunties, many cousins. There's always people around, so they're never lonely. I was not close to my family, but I know that they very often in many parts of Asia or Southeast Asia, some kids will get along better with some of their cousins than the actual siblings because they have the choice. And also they have many role models, and there's always someone looking after them, so they feel safe and they feel supported within a tribe. But again, in a capitalist society is individualist. I must do better than others, so I must work harder, I must be more successful, and that comes at a cost. Parents are not there, they argue all the time, they're stressed out, and the kids, they're left behind. People don't realize the trauma that the kids go through when they're small and they're left to be looked after by other people. But again, it's not the parents' fault, it's because of the system. If parents knew what sort of damage it does to the brain, they would feel so guilty and they wouldn't know what to do. And so, yeah, there's a bigger picture. And I like to talk about this because I'm here to talk about mental health, and we don't highlight enough how society itself is toxic by design to our mental health. So I want to change this. I want to work on that. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, amongst other people. But the way everything is designed, and I'm going to talk more about this on my live streams in the future. I think I talked about it already sometime last week. But everything about society is designed to ruin us. They're treating us like cattle. And because of that, we're also perpetuating a lot of ideas that are toxic to our happiness. So not only capitalism, but also patriarchy, racism, colonialism, all of those things. They are, our environment is very, very important to our mental health. It's not just about our past and our baggage and our trauma. It's also about our very environment. When we watch the news, when we see what is going on television, politics, when we feel the tension, the us versus them, people are struggling with poverty. And also ableism. No one knows about neurodivergent. Where am I? Pumpkin puff. Another thought, if I feel that, thank you for your heart. If I feel that I was horrible, I apologize to my husband, but then what do I do again to forgive myself? To forgive yourself? We talk about it indeed many times. How do you forgive yourself? By reminding yourself that the way you reacted in that moment is the way you would react because of the things that happened to you. It's not you. It's not your character. It's not your personality. You didn't choose to do that. You reacted because of those subconscious mechanisms that you put into place because of the things that happened to you when you were a child. You can't have shame or guilt for something that you have not chosen. You didn't choose your trauma. You didn't choose to have BPD. You didn't choose to be emotionally dysregulated. You didn't choose to wreak havoc on all of your relationships up to this point. You never chose. And so this is how you forgive yourself. By reminding yourself it's not you. It's your program. Remember? And so with love, with compassion, tell yourself, I did it again. It's okay. I'm working on myself. There's a part of me that still feels unsafe and needs to react like that, but we're working on it. And it will get better. And it's getting better. Do you remember now? Does it make sense? Or do you still struggle with that idea? We can talk about it more if you want. Xenia, complicated when they just yell you'd opposite part 2. It's complicated because we don't understand the mechanisms of the mind. So we take things personally. We believe it's because of me and we suffer because of that. Children don't have the ability to see things with a perspective. They literally experience everything from their vantage point. Me, but because that's all that they know. And when we grow up and we are dealing with some baggage, we're in the same position. We're not able to see things other than our perspective. So we take things personally. We believe, they don't like me because I'm not enough. It's because of me. And we suffer because of this. But when we understand things, it all becomes much easier and less complicated. And this is why I'm doing what I'm doing. So again, I'm coming closer to 8 o'clock, which is when I stop. But I come here every Wednesdays and every Fridays. So if you have interest, subscribe to my channel and come back and we can carry on with that conversation. I can teach you all the secrets of the mind. It's not, I mean, it's a lot of things to know, but when we do understand those things and we can apply them into our lives, everything is much easier. We're living in illusion. We believe the wrong things. We're limited by our belief. And it's precisely what the work is about. It's upgrading those filters that we call belief, so that we can see things through. We can see something that is closer to the truth than the lies we've been told about ourselves and the world and people. God loves you so much. It is the collective that is abusing the children. The village is abusive. This is a very bad thing. If it's a bad village, if it's a good village, no. The reason why there are so many PDF files is because precisely there's no village. It's because it's an individualist society. Some people are billionaires, rich, they can get away with murder, and they do. And this is why those things happen. In the village what I'm talking about, there's no such thing as PDF, because there's always someone looking. There's not one stepdad with the kids alone while mom is working. There's always an uncle, an auntie, a cousin, and that protects them. This is why we need a village, precisely. Yeah. Martin, do you know exercise to become one with yourself? Why do you think there is a division in the first place? Thank you for your work. There's a division because we believe in separation. It's a big subject. So I can talk about it next time because it's something that I think we need more than 10 minutes to be covered. But how to become one with yourself? By reminding yourself that your life, your reality is an illusion. Separation itself is an illusion. We come here, so again, it depends on your spiritual belief. But the way that I see it is that we are God. We are the universe. And the universe has fragmented itself in myriads of different perspectives so that it can experience itself through our perspective. And so I am the universe from the perspective of Didi Khan. You are the universe through the perspective of Martin. My husband is the universe through the perspective of my husband. A rock is the universe through the perspective of a rock. A dog is the universe through the perspective of a dog. And so on and so forth. A tree is the universe through the perspective of a tree. And because we have to experience that experience, whatever it may be, we have to forget that we are the universe. Otherwise, it wouldn't count. We need to understand what it is to be human, to have fear, to be helpless, powerless, to be angry, to be sad, but also to be happy, to be hopeful, and all of it. And so we come here to experience ourselves. And so we need to have the illusion of division. Otherwise, we can't understand what it is to be self. This is what the ego is. Ego means I. Ego is the idea that there's an I. And so if there's an I, there's also the rest of whatever is not I. So now we have separation. Does it make sense? Ego is just that. It's not good or bad. It's just the human experience. It's who am I as a human being, as Didi Khan, as whoever I see myself like. Without the separation, there's no experience. However, through meditation, through mindfulness, through self-reflection, through learning how to shift our paradigm and expand it, we can realize that it was all an illusion. And every time you're going to interact with people in the world, you will be the ego. You have to, because we are people. But when you think about it, when you reflect on it, when you meditate on it, you may think, okay, this happens because I do this, because they do that. But I can now zoom out and see the bigger picture. Remember that we're all part of an illusion. We're all fulfilling each other's narrative. It's all orchestrated very beautifully. And so as a whole, we are a whole. We are one with everything. Again, if you think about energy, everything is made of energy. This, whatever is full or empty. And if you take an atom, you have more empty space than matter. And atom is constantly changing shape and form. And so there's no separation, there's only transformation. And the only thing that is constant is our consciousness. And what it means is that if you follow my kind of belief, it means that after death, we're still there. We just change and shift dimension. But in this life, you can become at times, again, check my video. I was talking about it. I did a video, a long form video 5 months ago called You Are Whatever You Are Experiencing. Check it out. And I talk about this. I had a huge conversation, I think it was yesterday on TikTok, about spirituality and energy. And I would love to talk about it, but maybe next time. We have 4 minutes left. If you're interested in that, come back next time at 6 o'clock and remind me of a conversation, and I can really maybe share with you a different type of conversation, more spiritual based, spirituality based. So the exercise to become one with yourself, meditation, mindfulness. That's it. Obviously, it's a process. So for that, there's also a video about meditation that I put last week on my channel. Check it out. It's called Meditation is Easy. Gosh, I'm such a good salesman. Sarah, hello. Student, what's the solution for me? I want to be mentally strong and resilient. I want to chase my dreams even when I'm around critical people and with this recurring thought. You want to work on yourself. It's a journey. You need to find out how to access your subconscious mind and the reasons as to why you have created the lack of confidence. Some people, whatever that it is what we suffer from, is a system that we created originally to protect ourselves. Anxiety is a system that protects us. Depression is a system that protects us. Addiction, self-sabotage, anger, overthinking, whatever that we suffer from is a system that we put into place because back then that's all that we knew to look after ourselves. People pleasing. And so you want to find out, you need to do your work. There's no shortcut. If you come back every week, we can talk about it and explore your case in more depth. Have you thought about doing therapy? Pumpkin Puff. Thank you, Didi. I understand what you are saying. I just need to work on repeating that in my head versus going down the rabbit hole of negative food. Okay, so that's it. Thank you. Student, what activity or event has nice, kind people I can meet? All of them, provided something that you like. If you like something, you already have a connection with those people. So find a club with people who share the same interest as you. You don't want to find an activity because people are kind. You want to find an activity because it's the sort of thing that you enjoy. And if you enjoy that, doing those sort of things, you'll be good at it and people will like you for that, just like that. Pumpkin Puff. I just needed the reminder to reset my program. I appreciate you so much. Thank you. Thank you for your hearts as well. Forest Burger. Hi, Didi. Do you think the word toxic is overused? No, it depends. So yes, some people may overdo it. The way I use it is very, very useful because toxicity does exist. Some people's behavior, some situations are terribly toxic, and it's important to highlight them. However, some people may overuse it, yes, of course. Some people may not want to use it. Some people don't like that word. And the way that I see it is their own projection. So they don't want to say those things because they have a lot of shame and repressed stuff that they don't want to diverge. But it's just a word. It's like, do you think that the word tea is overused? Why would it be overused? Everything is contextual. If you talk about something that is about toxicity, then it's a great place to use that word, right? So let me read it again. Do you think the word toxic is overused or used in place where it shouldn't be? It went for 1,000 words in 2020, now it's top 100. Maybe because it's a conversation that must be had. It's like people who say everyone has ADHD, everyone is autistic, everyone is bipolar, everyone is BPD. Well, maybe there's much more than we thought there was, because now there's education, because now there's a conversation going on. There's an awareness. And so it's not like people are over talking about it. There are always some people that will, right? Some. But I believe that the vast majority of people use buzzwords because there's an understanding. So at the moment, there's a buzzword which is nervous system. Nervous system. Before, I don't know, 1-2 years ago, no one talked about it. Now everyone talks about it. It's a great thing because they're realizing that there's such thing as the nervous system. It's subconscious. And so people are starting to understand more about mental health. Before that, there was burnout. For a while, burnout was a buzzword. People are like, oh, everyone's burnout. No, people need to realize that it's not normal to burn out. And it's the fact that we are constantly thinking, being stressed out and anxious about things. And that gets us to burn out. It's not just physical. There's always a buzzword, but there's a reason why there is a buzzword. Neurodivergent. Again, if you go back, I don't know, 5-10 years ago, no one knew what, no one has ever heard about the word neurodivergent, or very few people. And so there's a reason it happens. Now we want to find out, why is it annoying? Why do people resist that? Do ever people say, people are using the word sausage too much. I can't stand it. Sausage. Why is everyone talking about sausages? So it's the same. Why is it annoying? This is the real question. Maybe it's a conversation that needs to be had, and now people are starting to understand more and they want to learn, so we talk about those things. Now, there will always be some people who are overusing things, just like with everything. There are individuals, there are the minority, there are exceptions. That's how I see it. Kay Stevens, I hope I'm not overstepping my bounds here, but what are your thoughts on the Rainier case? I don't know. Let me check it out. How does Reiner? I don't know what is the Rainier case. Killing of Rob and Michelle Rainer. American filmmaker and his wife were found dead, multiple sharp force injuries in Brentwood in LA, California. The son, Nick, was arrested later. I don't know about the story so much. So I would need to know more, to know about the son, to know about the dad, to know about the circumstances, the history of trauma, the conditions that we may have. Again, nothing is ever just this or that. Everything is always the result of many different factors, all coinciding in that moment and that event. Now, the way the press, the media is going to use something is different. They're offering a narrative, and we are finding out that more than often, there's always an agenda. But again, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to. Thank you for suggesting those things. But I haven't followed. I'm sorry. If you tell me about some events like Trump, Gaza, more global stuff like that, I may have a comment from a psychological perspective. But that specifically, I don't know much what to say about, I'm afraid. Light Weaver, this Pumpkin Puff, I will implement what we talked about today. I hope you continue to have a pleasant evening, and I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Thank you again. Thank you. Kay Stevens, I had a grandmother who knew I was struggling, who told me I needed to talk about my problems when I was a teenager. I knew not to speak. Her solution, stop worrying about things, it does no good. Yes, absolutely. A lot of people in the past used to say, if you're depressed, just be brave. If you're anxious, just do that or whatever. And again, it's ignorance. People don't mean bad necessarily. Some people do, but most people don't. It's just that they don't know. So they are basically going to use what they know. If I have never suffered from anxiety or depression, I'm going to assume that all you get to do is to go to the gym or I don't know, or go to the church. And for people who suffer, it's not enough because we don't realize what they are going through. And so this is education. But now there are more and more people talking about it. And so, yeah, it's a good thing. And again, people did what they thought was good back then. They don't do it. For the vast majority of people, they don't do it on purpose. It's just what they know. And that's why it's so important to raise an awareness of compassion, empathy, mental health. Student, no, never done therapy, but I would like to come back to your lives. What details would you need so I can be prepared? You don't need to be prepared. Just come back and talk to me. Just that. There's no need for pressure. If you feel like you want to write down things like some people do it, and then when you come, tell me about your notes and we can consider things. But, you know, we're just having a chat, and I'm doing my best to give some help based on what is happening there. Student, what's the test you can do with someone to know you can trust them, especially with people you just met? You need to let go of the suspicion. You need to let go of the fear. You need to let go of the anxiety. This is the problem. You want to trust yourself. What is the test? You don't do test. You don't know. When you are free from fear and anxiety, you can listen to your intuition. You don't need test. You have an intelligence inside of you that knows, that feels safe or not with someone. And so how do you do that? By letting go of all of your baggage, by working on your stuff, right? And the analogy that I often give is that you want a test to find out if you can trust them. Instead of thinking, I can deal with anyone, I can trust them, and if they deceive me, I can tell them to F off. This is different. Instead of me believing, I need to find the right person, I don't care. I meet everyone, my door is open. But the moment I see some signs of hostility or narcissism, I close the door. Just like that. Easy. I had to learn. It was not easy back then for me. But I had to learn, and now I'm very good at that. And this is what you want to do. It's like birds. Birds on a branch. They don't rely on the strength of the branch. They rely on their wings. So they're never scared whether the branch is going to break or not. They don't care because they have wings. So they go and try all the branches. It's exactly the same thing. If you have confidence about your ability to deal with people, then you can meet everyone. You don't need the fear anymore. The fear exists to protect you when you believe that you're not good enough to deal with people who may be problematic. And I talk about it in some capacity on my last video today on YouTube, how to set boundaries with narcissists. So it's only a 10-minute video, so I don't talk about what I just said, but I talk about different aspects related to the same subject. So check it out if you have a chance. But I like that energy about the birds. They don't care about the branches, they have wings. And this is what you want to see about yourself. You have wings. It doesn't matter what others are. You can deal with them. You want to learn how to remember how to deal with those things. And when you do, that's how you are confident. You don't care about what people think. You don't care about reactions. You know that you are being good. You're authentic. You are yourself. You're honest. You're transparent. You are how it should be. And the right people will see you and love you. And the rest, never mind them. It's a big world out there. We don't need to be liked by everyone. It's actually impossible to be liked by everyone. It would be very unhealthy to be liked by everyone. We don't want this. We just want to be liked by the right people and wish all the other ones the best in their own journey. And that's it. Does it help, student? Christine said hi. Hello, Martin. Some emoji red. I don't know what it is. Something red. Oh well. Guys, I'm going to go now. Thank you for watching up till now. Thank you for the interactions. I'm going to resume my evening. I will come back Friday. So again, I'm on TikTok and YouTube. I post short videos every day, and I post one long form video on YouTube every week. Check it out. Today, how to set boundaries with narcissists is the latest one. I come here live every Wednesdays and Fridays from 6 to 8 p.m. UK time, and all of my live streams can be found and replayed the next day. So if you heard anything that you found interesting, it takes about a day for YouTube to fully upload the live streams. You can always replay it. It will be foundable, I think, tomorrow, sometime tomorrow. And also, finally, if you need some details about me as a therapist and coach, there's a link to my website on my bio. So there's that. Guys, I'm going to wish you a great day or night wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you Friday or sometime next week. Okay, thank you guys. Love you all. Bye-bye for now.